Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a few simple tips that you can do to any OBS Chevy, but specifically a K2500 Suburban, to make it look just a little bit better. My name's LT and I've got a small shop in central Utah, and on this channel I document some of the builds that we do. So if you're into building high performance or custom trucks like, I don't know, a Chevy Silverado that's been 8.1 swapped and turbocharged, you definitely need to subscribe to this channel. I've got a goal to reach 30,000 subs by the end of 2020, and we're on track to make that happen. But if you like what you've seen here today, and if you haven't already, help me out and hit that subscribe button. Now, I also have a small Facebook page where I document some kind of behind the scenes stuff. I do parts unboxings, and I just throw up some content that I don't have time to include in the full length uploads here on YouTube. So also, if you want, you can head on over there and like the Facebook page. It's just Lawrence LT Tolman. Now, because I do content for both Facebook and for YouTube, sometimes stuff does get a little bit jumbled around. Now, this video that you're about to see today, I originally recorded, it was actually before I did the transfer case conversion on the Suburban. So it might look a little bit out of order, you know, if you're a subscriber and if you've kind of followed along with the Suburban build. But I figured it's great content and we might as well include it anyway. So enjoy the show. Today's project involves this right here, my new project truck, an OBS 99 Chevy 2500 Suburban. Now, I do have some pretty big plans for this thing. They do involve some fairly drastic modifications to how this truck is going to look, but that's going to have to wait for a little while because today I'm going to get to some very simple modifications to the looks. Now, the first thing that I did when I picked up this truck is I threw on these 16-inch PYO wheels, because for some reason the previous owner had installed, well, those do look really awesome, the previous owner had installed these guys over here. Some 16-inch steel second-gen Dodge wheels, and they're just ugly, so I had to get rid of them. On that note, if you're anywhere near Utah and you want a set of free 16-inch steel Dodge 8-lug wheels, hit me up. They're yours. You can have them for nothing. I just want to get them out of the shop. Along the lines of the wheels, there's a few things that I'm going to change today. Again, just to improve the appearance of this truck. You know, there's a few things that I just can't stand. I'm going to be adding 2 things and taking away 1. So here we go. The transfer case is actually a project for another day. The one part that I'm going to be removing, well, that's the running boards right there. I've never liked running boards on trucks, and these kind of remind me of a grandpa. And the 2 things that we're going to be adding are right over here on this table. We've got a lower front air dam because this one is missing, and then we've got these guys right here, a pair of 2-inch wheel spacers. Now, I know wheel spacers do have a little bit of a bad rap, and people are like, oh, well, they're not safe, you're going to have vibrations, and you're going to have all kinds of problems. As far as just an overall failure, you know, that's one thing people are afraid of, like, oh, you put wheel spacers on, your wheels are just going to fall off. Well, that could be true, I guess, but I know there are a couple people out there. There's one particularly infamous YouTuber who stacks like 12 or 14 of the things together. And as far as I know, he hasn't had a wheel spacer fail yet. So just installing one of them, I don't think I've got a whole lot to worry about. So here's the reason why I'm going to be putting wheel spacers on and why you only saw a pair of them. The rear axle on the K2500 old body style trucks is about 3 inches narrower overall than the front. So on the back, the wheels, they just kind of suck in and they're way, you know, inside the fender well. Where up on the front, well, it looks a whole lot better because the wheels are just almost flush with the surface. So yeah, like I said, it's about 3 inches narrower out back. I wanted to run a good size spacer, so I got 2 inches, so it'll be probably now about 1 inch wider out back than it is up front. And that's what the spacers are for. Like I said, I'm kind of rambling on here. But in terms of the issue or the complaint of vibration, these are a dual hub-centric wheel spacer design. Here's what that means. On the back here, this diameter on the inside is machined perfectly to fit on the hub of the 14-bolt full floating rear axle. So it should be centered perfectly. And on the outside, they have another little flange that's machined in here, and this is the same diameter as the wheel. So theoretically, when I go to bolt these things on, they should be perfectly concentric with the hub, which means the wheels will be lined up and there should be 0 vibration. So, class is done, let's get to work. Well, these back wheel spacers kind of turned out to be a massive fail. When I ordered them, they were supposed to be able to fit a 99 Suburban with a full floating 14-bolt rear axle. There's one part that isn't going to work. So a full floating axle has this big massive hub right here, and the axle shaft is separate from the wheel hub. You can kind of see that little flange right here. This is axle, that's hub. Anyway, on a full floating hub, the very inside surface right there, if you can see it, that's what the wheel centers on, and that's what keeps everything nice and smooth. Now, on the back side of this wheel spacer, this inside diameter, that is going to match exactly that surface on the hub, and that's fine. However, you can kind of see this little step up right in there. Well, that's supposed to center the wheel on the outside. That's what that is right there. However, that ridge interferes with sliding over the outside of the hub. At first I thought maybe just it was the shoulders on these bolts, so I just sanded those real quickly, but it wasn't enough, and the spacer still isn't going to slide all the way over like it should. Right there is where it hits, and it's got, I don't know, maybe 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch of gap that needs to make up. I could probably bash them on with a hammer, but that's not right, and then they'd be impossible to get off. So the good thing about the internet is I can just return them and send them back, so it's not a big deal, and maybe I'll try at a later date with a different style of spacer. But anyway, I'll get this tire back on the truck, get it outside, and see how it looks. Well, if I'm being totally honest, I'm not sure I love the look of the Suburban right now. The air dam up front, I think that was a pretty big success. It just looks complete, it looks factory, and it looks done. But the running boards being missing, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 to be honest. I didn't love it with it on there, but with them not on there, it just seems kind of empty and almost top heavy. Now granted, the lines of a Suburban, there's a big massive chunk back there, and I'm gonna do something about that shortly. But for now, I don't know, I guess it does look a little bit better. Now, if that wheel spacer thing would have worked out, I think it would look a whole lot better, because I mean, even from this angle right here, you can see how far in the back wheels are. So I'm definitely going to have to order some spacers, but that's another day and another video. So thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, follow this page, click like, and help me out. And also follow me on YouTube, because we've got a lot more in-depth content on the channel over there. Thanks for watching. I'm LT.